Hello, I am Augie. You know me very well. Yes, you. I am talking to you. Not to everyone. Not to a crowd. Not to an audience. Just you and me. Right now. In this moment. Welcome to Shadow Spark Sparkles. Take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders. And stay with me. You don't need to rush. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to listen. And feel the words. Today, I want to talk about one simple question. A question that quietly lives inside many hearts. A question people rarely ask loudly. Who can speak English? Let me ask you something honestly. Do you sometimes feel that English is not for you? Do you feel English is only for confident people? For rich people? For city people? For convent school students? If yes, stay with me. Because this conversation is for you. You know, English is just a language. Not a certificate. Not a status symbol. Not a measure of intelligence. English does not check your background before entering your mouth. English does not ask where you were born. English does not care which school you studied in. English only asks one thing. Are you willing to try? Let me tell you something gently. If you can think, you can speak. If you can feel, you can express. And if you can express, you can speak English too. You don't need a perfect accent. You don't need heavy vocabulary. You don't need fast speed. You only need clarity plus practice plus patience. Let me be very real with you. Most fluent English speakers you see today, they were once scared too. Yes, they were once confused. They once searched for words. They once made mistakes. But they didn't stop. And that is the only difference between people who speak English and people who think they can T. Now listen carefully. English is not about impressing others. English is about expressing yourself. When you speak English, you are not performing. You are communicating. And communication is human. Not elite. Not exclusive. Let me ask you something softly. When you speak in your mother tongue, do you think about grammar? No. You think about meaning. English works the same way. First meaning, then words, then confidence. But people reverse it. They wait for perfect grammar. They wait for perfect vocabulary. They wait for confidence to magically appear. And that waiting never ends. So let me say this directly to you. Anyone who starts speaking English becomes someone who can speak English. Yes, it is that simple. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You don't need validation. You need practice. Daily practice. Gentle practice. That is why you are here. That is why you are listening. And I am proud of you for that. Now imagine this. You are speaking English calmly. Your voice is steady. Your mind is relaxed. You are not afraid of mistakes anymore. Because mistakes are no longer enemies. They are teachers. Every mistake is feedback. Every pause is progress. And slowly, very slowly, English starts feeling normal. Not special. Not scary. Just normal. And one day, without realizing it, you stop translating in your head. You stop panicking. You start responding. That day, you will smile. Because you will remember this moment. This conversation. And you will say to yourself, yes, I can speak English. Before I end this part, let me tell you one last thing. You don't need to compare yourself with anyone. Your journey is yours. Your speed is perfect. Your voice matters. And as long as you keep listening, keep repeating, Keep practicing with me. English will come to you naturally. Not forcefully, not painfully, but confidently. Let me ask you something, and answer honestly in your mind. When you listen to English, do you sometimes understand everything? But when it's time to speak, your mind goes blank. Yes, that silence, that pause, that fear. You know why that happens? Because nobody ever told you that silence is part of learning. Pauses are not weakness, they are thinking spaces. When a child learns to walk, they fall. When a child learns to speak, they pause. And when an adult learns English, they hesitate. That is normal. You are normal. But somewhere along the way, people made English look scary. They attached judgment to it. They attached class to it. They attached shame to it. And slowly, people stopped trying. But you didn't. You rehear, listening, repeating, training your mind. And that already makes you different. Let me tell you a truth that nobody says clearly. English does not belong to native speakers anymore. English belongs to anyone who uses it. Your accent is not a mistake. It is your identity speaking English. Say that again in your mind. My accent is not wrong. You don't need to sound like someone else. You just need to sound like you. Clear, calm, confident. And confidence does not come from perfection. Confidence comes from familiarity. That's why shadowing works. That's why listening daily works. Because your brain starts saying, "Oh, I know this sound. Oh, I've heard this before." And suddenly, English stops feeling foreign. Let me stay with you for a moment. Imagine we're sitting quietly. No pressure. No audience. You speak one sentence in English. Slowly. Softly. Nobody laughs. Nobody corrects you harshly. Nobody judges you. How does that feel? Safe. That is the environment you must create for yourself. And that is what this podcast is for. You don't need to speak loudly yet. You don't need to speak fast yet. You just need to stay consistent. Consistency beats talent. Every single time. 10 minutes daily is better than 1 hour once a week. One sentence spoken daily is better than silence for months. And please remember this. Fluency is not speed. Fluency is ease. If your English feels easy, you are fluent. Even if it is simple. Simple English is powerful English. Let me break another myth for you. You don't need to know everything to speak English. You don't wait to know all words in Hindi before speaking Hindi. So why wait in English? Speak with what you know. Grow with time. And trust me, time will reward you if you don't quit. Sometimes progress is invisible. But one day, someone will say, "Your English has improved." And you'll be surprised. Because you didn't feel it happening. That is how growth works. Before we move further, let me tell you something personal. I believe in you. Not because you are perfect, but because you are trying. And trying is enough to begin. You know, there is a quiet moment that comes to everyone learning English. A moment when you suddenly realize, I understand more than before. You don't announce it. You don't celebrate loudly. You just feel it inside. And that feeling, that is progress. But then something happens. You open your mouth to speak. And fear walks in again. What if I say it wrong? What if they laugh? What if I forget the words? Let me stop you right there. Look at me for a second. Everyone forgets words. Even fluent speakers. Even native speakers. Forgetting words does not mean you are bad at English. It means your brain is working. Language is not stored neatly. It's alive. It moves. It grows. And sometimes, it hides. So when a word doesn't come, don't panic. Pause. Breathe. Use another word. Communication is not about perfect words. It's about being understood. And you are more understandable than you think. Let me ask you something gently. Do you judge others when they speak broken English? No. You listen. You understand. You respect the effort. So why are you so hard on yourself? Be kind to yourself. Learning English is not a race. It's a relationship. And relationships grow with time. You don't wake up one day fluent. You wake up a little more comfortable. And comfort turns into confidence. Let me tell you a secret. Confidence is not loud. Confidence is calm. When you stop trying to prove yourself, English flows better. Speak slowly. Slow English is clear English. There is no prize for speed. There is only peace and clarity. And peace makes you fluent. You might think, but I don't get enough chances to speak. Listen carefully. You don't need people to start speaking English. You need habits. Talk to yourself. Describe what you are doing. Say your thoughts out loud. Your mind is your first listener. And shadowing. Shadowing is your silent partner. You listen. You repeat. You absorb rhythm. You absorb confidence. Even when you feel nothing is happening. Your brain is changing. Neural paths are forming. Sounds are settling. Fear is slowly loosening its grip. And one day, you will speak without thinking. Not perfectly, but freely. And freedom is the real goal. Let me stay with you for a moment longer. You don't need to become someone else to speak English. You just need to be yourself in English. Your thoughts matter. Your voice matters. Your journey matters. And I am walking this journey with you. Sentence by sentence. Day by day. We are not rushing. We are building. So don't stop now. You've already come far. You know. Many people ask, how long will it take for me to speak English? And the honest answer is, it depends on how gently you treat yourself. Some people rush. They force themselves. They criticize every mistake. And English becomes heavy. Others move slowly. They listen daily. They repeat softly. They forgive themselves. And English becomes light. Which one do you want? Let me tell you something important. Your brain learns better when it feels safe. Fear blocks learning. Relaxation opens it. That is why I keep telling you to breathe. To slow down. To stay. Daily practice does not mean pressure. It means presence. Even 5 minutes of honest listening is powerful. Even one sentence repeated with feeling is enough. Don't wait for motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Build a routine. Routines stay. Same time. Same place. Same calm energy. And English will slowly become part of your life. Not a task. Not a burden. But a habit. There will be days when you feel confident. And there will be days when you feel stuck. Both days are normal. On confident days, speak more. On stuck days, just listen. Listening is also learning. You don't always have to perform. Sometimes, you just have to absorb. Let me say this clearly. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right where you need to be. Everyone's English journey looks different. Comparing only steals joy. Your only competition is yesterday's version of you. And trust me, today, you understand more. Today, you feel less afraid. Today, you stayed. That matters. One day, someone will ask you, How did you learn English? And you will smile, because you will remember these quiet moments, these conversations, this patience. You don't need permission to speak English. You don't need approval to improve. You don't need validation to begin. You already began. And I am proud of you for that. You know what scares people the most? It's not English. It's people. The eyes watching. The ears listening. The fear of judgment. You might be comfortable speaking English alone. You might even speak well in your room. But the moment someone is in front of you, your throat tightens. Your voice shakes. Your mind forgets everything. If this happens to you, listen carefully. You are not weak. You are human. Public fear is older than language itself. It comes from wanting acceptance. It comes from wanting respect. And there is nothing wrong with that. But here is the truth nobody tells you. Most people are not judging you. They are busy judging themselves. Everyone is insecure about something. English is just one form of insecurity. So when you speak English in front of others, you are not exposing weakness. You are showing courage. And courage always feels uncomfortable at first. Let me tell you something important. Confidence does not mean a steady voice. Confidence means speaking even when your voice shakes. That shaking voice, that is bravery. Don't wait for fear to disappear. Speak with fear. Each time you do that, fear becomes smaller. Start small. One sentence. One response. One moment. You don't need to give speeches. You just need to participate. Say, yes. Say, I think. Say, in my opinion. Simple sentences are powerful. You don't have to sound smart. You have to sound honest. And honesty connects more than perfection ever will. Sometimes people will correct you. Sometimes they will interrupt. Sometimes they will not listen patiently. That is not a reflection of your English. That is a reflection of their manners. Don't let that stop you. You are allowed to take space. You are allowed to speak slowly. You are allowed to finish your sentence. Your voice deserves time. Let me stay with you in this moment. Imagine you are about to speak. Your heart is beating fast. Pause. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now speak. Not loudly. Not fast. Just clearly. That is enough. With time, your body will learn. Your mind will relax. Your voice will settle. And one day, you will notice something beautiful. You are speaking English. And you are not thinking about it anymore. That moment will feel quiet, but powerful. And when that happens, remember this. It didn't happen overnight. It happened because you stayed. You listened. You practiced. You came back. And that is how English becomes yours. Stay close to this practice. Stay kind to yourself. And keep coming back. Join our channel, do like, subscribe, share, and practice every day at 8 o'clock in night.